Fox News alert now. President Obama addressing the murder of a second American journalist beheaded by Islamic extremists.
We will not be intimidated. Their horrific acts only unite us as a country and stiffen our resolve to take the fight against these terrorists. And those who make the mistake of harming Americans will learn that we will not forget, and that our reach is long, and that justice will be served.
Journalist and award-winning filmmaker himself, Matthew Van Dyke, worked with both James Foley and Stephen Sotloff. He joins us right here on the couch this morning. Matt, what could possibly be going through your mind? Not only is this horrific to every American, you knew these guys.
Yeah, it's a mix of sadness, anger. It's outrageous. I've lost 2 friends in 2 weeks.
Well, and we're looking just at that image right there that was released and authenticated by the White House this morning. Tell us about Stephen Sotloff. We saw his mom making, a heartfelt appeal last week for al-Baghdadi not to kill him, but he did. Tell us about the man.
Steve was a great guy and a real professional, and he had a real love for the region. He learned the language, he knew Arabic, he knew how to blend in. He lived in Libya for a while. He was really a regional specialist and really enjoyed the people in the region that he was covering.
When was the last time that you spoke with him?
We had dinner in Washington, D.C. just a few weeks before he went to Syria.
Did you ever talk about the fear? Is that always in the back of your mind? Because you were in Libya yourself. You know this region.
Probably one of the things we talked about most was Syria and security in Syria, and trading news that we had about fixers and various inside baseball type things about the security situation. He was fully aware of the risks.
I understand that he focused on the refugees, that he was saying that how brutal it was there and how there were long lines just to get one piece of bread all day.
Yeah, he wanted his work to make a difference, and it did. He had a real caring side for the people he was covering. It wasn't just a story for him.
Matthew, this morning the President of the United States was in Estonia, and he said, regardless of what he said last week, he said he did have a strategy. It was to destroy ISIS, but then he said it was to manage ISIS. Watch this.
Our objective is clear, and that is to degrade and destroy ISIL so that it's no longer a threat. If we are joined by the international community, we can continue to shrink ISIL's sphere of influence, its effectiveness, its financing, its military capabilities, to the point where it is a manageable problem.
Last time you were here, you said that the message to the president was he needed to destroy ISIS. But at the same time, you say that we should be negotiating with them as well.
Well, I believe we should negotiate, get these hostages back, and then kill ISIS before they ever get to spend the money. I've never heard anything as ridiculous as managing the problem of ISIS. If the president calls it a cancer, do you manage cancer or do you try to eliminate cancer from the body?
What do you want to tell the American people in terms of how serious this is? I mean, obviously personally affecting families of the gentleman we mentioned, and it's devastating to hear. You knew these guys, you worked with them, you knew their intentions were good. What should every American understand about how serious ISIS is?
ISIS has hundreds, perhaps thousands of recruits with European and American passports who can fairly easily cross borders and come back to this country. They're very angry that we've done an air campaign against them, which we should be doing, and they vowed retribution. This is a threat that actually exceeds al-Qaeda.
And you know what? People are under the impression, well, we'll just educate them. We'll talk to them about how wrong their ways are and there's no future for it, that there be dead enders. There's no talking to these guys, are there?
No, they're utopian extremists, barbarians. They don't understand anything except violence. Do you feel as though the president's speech gave any justice to Stephen's life? Not really. I mean, there's a lot that the president should be focused on rescue missions, that he doesn't wait as much as 30 days before launching.
And they might have been together.
And the president also talks about how there needs to be a coalition. Well, if there isn't a coalition, shouldn't we do something ourselves?
Yes, there are citizens being executed on video, and we need to take care of that, regardless of any coalition.
He said it's going to take time. This is nothing that
we don't have time. Every couple weeks, if another prisoner is executed, we don't have that kind of time. They don't have that kind of time to wait.
Matthew Van Dyke, who knew both Stephen Sotloff and Jim Foley, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.